What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the HTM Buddy Build of the U.S.S. Reliant. I'm Jordan with the Line of the Stars.
And I'm Ken with Ken's Hobby Bench.
And the build continues, my friend. Another week is ahead of us. Let's just go ahead and get into it. What are you going to be doing this week?
This week, I am going to be doing some light blocking. This is my big thing. I'd done some testing, and that was kind of a contention. I found my light blocking wasn't as effective as I thought it was. So
double coats, even triple coats.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to Talon, one of my viewers, who had mentioned that the lights on my nacelles were wrong, so I gotta swap them out. I got some white lights burning in here, so that'll be that. I'll do some basic lighting. I might do my red and greens strobes, navigational strobe or lights is what I'm hoping to do, and maybe even some red lights in the bridge section. But we'll see how the week progresses. How about you?
I'm moving back to the saucer as well. Same. I'm going to be doing some light blocking. I'm going to go ahead and continue to work on getting the areas that have been, worked in and assembled, light blocked around the turrets and all of the resin pieces. I'm also seeing a gigantic gap behind that RCS thruster that I need to fill in, take care of. I'm going to install. I went ahead and I'm using some really pale blue LEDs in some of the spots, like in the vents on the bottom of the roll bar. I'm going to use the same LED here, and it's actually a UV LED. With like a black light LED that I'm putting in there, and it's just very pale and blue, and it kind of matches up with the aesthetic. So if you're interested, Ken, look up 3mm UV LEDs. Those might be good for that application. But I already have one of those burned in, so I'm going to get that installed. And then I was thinking, I've been kind of wanting to do this for a little while. I want to work with the kit parts and this, and basically look at getting both of the crystals installed and ready to go for paint. So that's kind of what my thought was: light blocking and doing a little bit of this work back here. So, yeah.
Well, some good thinking. I just also wanted to note that we've heard back from Cass. Cass is working on getting those parts out to us. So yeah, and we're excited to get them. So thank you very much, Cass. Cass, as
Indeed.
you may or may not know, is sponsoring our buddy build here, and that's Cass from Lake Monster Details.
Yeah, we're going to have a new, well, not a super new intro, but we'll have a bit of a new intro here coming soon with new graphics as Cass gets them sent over to us. And there's been a bit of a delay on his part. His 3D printers. Now, if you guys aren't aware, Cass over at Lake Monster Details is just like some of us. Ken's in the Everyday's a Saturday Club, but Cass has a regular everyday job. And so, for him to be able to produce these parts en masse like he does is pretty amazing. But you need a 3D printer that's working in order to do that. And he's had some 3D printer issues of late, and so that's why we're still kind of waiting for parts. Like normally he is really fast at getting those printed and shipped off to us real quick, but in this instance right now, like he's waiting for some help with the 3D printer. So we're still not going to get the parts probably for a little while, but as with this model, there's so much to do, like we're not really worried about it. But just as a reminder, the parts that we're waiting for, we were replacing this triangle section down here, kind of like it's almost like a delta in a little way. And then what the difference is this one, as you can see, is concaved with the shape of the saucer section, and that is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be flat, so it's going to come down and be flat, and then the bottom of it is concave. So we're going to need to remove that, and then both of these little maintenance areas, I guess what you would call them, or some people have speculated that these are also the deflectors. Like, you never know. But both of these little raised sections, the detail's not quite right. So we're going to be doing that. And then, of course, the vents at the bottom of the roll bar needs to be taken care of. And as Ken will show you right now on screen, the fins on the back of the nacelles They actually have a clear corner piece where the corner of the RCS thruster, which is back there, there's going to be a tiny pin of light sitting right up top. So we're waiting for all of those, and those are going to be pretty much the last of the modifications for this, correct?
That's as far as we know. At this point, I can't see because Will's actually in the paint phase now, so I can't really
He
see him
is.
designing any more parts.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
Although I
good
thought that
because
before.
and that's the thing. Like, I mean, you never know. Like, Will's single-handedly going through and like basically swapping out all the plastic for resin on this model. But as he is in the paint phase, we're also assuming that that's going to be it. And like once we get there, like there's still so much work to do. Like we still have to do all of the light blocking for the entire thing. And once again, Ken, as lighting is something that is new to you,
Yes.
um, when you're light blocking, go heavy, bro. Like, don't like use
Yeah.
a good primer, use a good flat black primer, a
Yeah.
good matte black. What I've been using is the Army Painter matte black. It goes on super smooth. It almost looks like it has a self-leveling. It's almost like it's self-leveling. And I put two coats on the inside and the outside, and it works in. I put cobs in the nacelles to test them, and no glow whatsoever outside from one of the seams where I haven't actually made them together. So heavy. Don't be afraid, because then we're going to put primer over the top of it, then base coat, and then all of our
Right.
color coats. So
Uh, One other thing I was wondering too, because I've seen some modelers do it, is once they've primed, they'll come in with another coat of like a aluminum or some sort of reflective paint color. Do
so
you think
there's
that's
that.
something good? Because that
Yes,
usually would block light.
you can. Another thing you can also do is use some aluminum tape.
Right.
This like will completely like if you wanted to completely light block and don't need to worry about it and you had the patience, just use this. Like you don't even need to paint. Just literally use this. It's what we use for the Enterprise D part work. Um, but yes, you can, but you're gonna be using cobs in there. They're going
Yes.
to be so bright that you are not going to need to worry about bouncing light around. If anything, that creates hot spots. Now, any one of our viewers want to correct me if I'm wrong, please feel free to do so. But what I've experienced with that is it can create some hot spots, especially if like the paint is a little heavier in one spot and it's a little bit more reflective than in others. So that's at least what my experience has been. But the more paint you throw on the inside, like once again, like the inside is where you really want to coat it. Like you're not going to see anything, so feel free to just soak that damn thing on the
Right.
inside.
I just
That's le-
because I realize that metallic does have a metallic fleck in it, which can help with the light blocking. And I
yep.
was thinking of a flat aluminum, like from Tamiya's flat aluminum.
Oh
It's not
yeah, that'd be a
as
good one.
reflective, but it does have
Yeah,
the, you know, um,
the flake in it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah. And the other thing I've seen some modelers do is uh, switch from a black to the secondary coats is to a white as well. So
Yep,
not
yep,
as reflective, but white does have a reflective property towards light.
yep. That's going to be my plan. I'm going to go with white on the inside, so I'm going to do the black, and then I'm going to throw a white coat on the inside, white primer.
Okay.
Yep,
Well, that sounds great.
indeed. Well, that's we got a lot to do this week,
We
despite waiting
do.
for parts. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, best of luck to you, my friend. Can't wait to see how it turns out for you next week.
Well, thank you very much. And I hope to see that you're as successful as I'm hoping to be.
Awesome, man. Good luck.
All right. Take care. All right. So you can see here I have my parts. I remasked up my chili grills so that I can do some more light blocking. The more I think about it, I think I'm going to go with some more darkening with some black, and then come in here with, I think, a white instead of like a flat aluminum or any other sort of shiny color like a chrome or anything. Additionally, I've marked off these areas here need Raytheon lights along here. One side will have the the registry number as well as a pinstripe here. I'm not so worried about the pinstripe going down, but I do need to light that. It is lit in the movie, so Raytheon effect here. I'm hoping to accomplish that with some strip lighting. I have some white strip light cob lighting right now that I've got burning in, so I'll give it that 24 hours and hopefully that'll be good. And this side here just has like the United Federation of Planets on here. It's a much smaller, but the Raytheon effect is pretty much the same size. So what I'm going to have to do, I don't even know if I got these on if I showed you the right side. One side is one and one side's the other. So let me see here. If I look at it from this side, I think this one here is the registry number. This one here is the United Federation of Planets, towards me being the front of the ship. So what I need to do is I need to come in here and I need to router out again like I did here. I'm going to have to do that over here and get as close as I can to this edge, a little routering. I just need to do top and bottom, because top, obviously, for the top of the cob lighting, I hope I can fit it in here, because it does have that, like as you saw here on the chiller grill side, it has a fairly pronounced little height to it. Not huge, but enough that we're going to have to work on it. So I'll get that done up on both of these, and then I'll have to come in on the bottom side as well and create some stuff. And that way too, after that's done, I can look at light blocking everything except for where my Raytheon effect is going to be. So I didn't think I would need too much light blocking here, but if I'm doing Raytheon, I'm going to have to do it that way. So these here have been remasked, like I said. I'll come in here, do the couple more coats of black as well as the fronts of the nacelles. I'll go in and light block those like that. As you can see over here, I have my two lights still burning in for the flashers here at the rear. I guess those are strobe lights, I guess. I'll get those done up. And then I will be looking at doing some better light blocking for the rest of the ship all around. Now looking at the box art, which actually has grabs from the movie, it does have the three lights up here on the bridge that face this way, but it also has lights on the sides facing off, but it's not really illuminating anything like a registry number, that sort of thing. So that'll go in there as well, but I'm not worried about the Raytheon effect on the sides. Looking at the bottom, looking at the footage, it will still have the Raytheon effect coming down on the front, but there are no lights shining off to the sides. So at least that saves us that. Once the black's in, like I said, I think I'm going to go with white. Yeah, I think that's about it for a starting point. Also, after looking at it for a bit, the blue cob light here, when it shines kind of up at an angle towards the chiller grill, I found that it was catching shadows off the chiller grill itself because of the angle. So when I go to do my light blocking on here, I'm going to peel these off like this and just kind of keep them off to the side best I can while I paint. And then I think I'm going to try them straight on the very rear facing towards the warp nacelle, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that looks good or not. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to router up these. You've seen me do that in previous videos. If you haven't, I suggest you go back and watch. But for now, I'm going to go and router these out, and I'll come back when that's done, and then hopefully after that we can move over into the spray booth. So I'll get that done, and I'll be right back. So here you can see the difference, I hope, of one that's been now sanded and one that has not. So this one here you can see has all the lumpy texture. It has to be smoothed out. And when I do sand it down, it does take it down a little bit further. Like this one, you can actually see there's a lip here now, so which is good. This is kind of what I want. It's nice and smooth. So what I could do to make sure is take some Tamiya Extra Thin, which is kind of melts the plastic is what it does. I shouldn't even say kind of. It does melt the plastic. So that way it's used to weld two pieces of plastic together. I'm just using this to kind of smooth things out a little bit more as it melts any excess plastic. So there we have it. Just like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'll switch over to the other one and I'll get that one sanded down and smoothed out. And I'll come back and I'll show you my results. Alright, so there we have it. Our area is now masked off, ready for light blocking and the rest of it. As you can see, it's not actually that much of an area. Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's just a little strip along here where the registry and then the other side is the United Federation of Planets. And if I pull out the decals for it, you can actually see what I'm talking about right there. This is the decals for each side. So you would have something like, you know, that size, that length, just kind of right in there. So it should be just fine. And the other side would, I have both of them, you know, at as close as I could get to the same size. So again, it's just going to be lighting up the United Federation of Planets with a little extra space around it. So not a huge issue. So that's what we're going for to light. So now that I've kind of got everything in this area light blocked, I'm going to work on light blocking this over at the spray booth here, and as well as the main hull sections. And we'll come back. Actually, I'll bring you over this to the spray booth and just give you just a general taste of what I'm doing for light blocking. So let's go over to the spray booth. All right, so here we are at the spray booth now, and as you can see, I've got my my lights here for the chiller grills removed, just off to the side so they're out of the way and they don't get paint on them. So I'm going to be wearing a respirator, and I will have my spray booth running, and so I'm going to be a little hard to hear. And this is the primer I'm going to be using, my standard primer and microfiller AK. So let me get masked up. Fill up my paint cup on my airbrush. All right, I'm going to get spraying, so I'm going to turn on the air filter, and away we go.
right, so that's my black coat of primer done. I'm going to let this all dry for about an hour or so, and then I can come in here with some white primer and get that put on there. It'll give us a little bit of a reflectiveness to our lighting. So I'll let this dry. Like I said, I'm going to leave my room venting out with my spray booth venting. Our black primer is now nice and dry. I've given it well over an hour to dry. Now I'm going to come in with some AK Primer Microfiller white is what I'm going to use. If I need to later, I can come in with a more of a glossy white, but I think this is generally should be good enough. So I'm going to turn on my spray booth to vent, and I will be wearing my respirator again to protect my lungs. So you probably won't be able to hear me too well as I suit up.
But here we go.
All right, so I have everything light blocked with the white. I ended up having a problem with my primer microfiller from AK. It's pretty old, and it actually began clogging up my airbrush. So you can kind of see on the inside here, it's I don't know, something seems to be wrong with it. So it started turning into chunks in my airbrush, which I've never had it happen before. So I ended up switching over to just some some Tamiya flat white, some XF2 I switched to, and I just thinned that down with some Mr. Hobby leveling thinner, and continued spraying that way, and then I had no problems. So now that that's done, I'm gonna switch, because I was talking to Jordan there, and yes, I was getting some shadows from my my lights here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna place them across again, this time instead of at the bottom. And my hope is that will solve that problem of the shadowing from the on the chiller grills. So we'll try that. Hopefully that'll solve that problem. And unfortunately, this is very sticky. And yeah, ends up with some hairs and stuff on it. But that's okay. There we go. Okay. So we'll put these down and we'll test them out. We'll see how that looks with the chiller grills. So let's grab our chiller grill halves. This one. Okay, now, which is the one that I used the frosted glass on? Because that did, over time, it ended up looking like it had a smoother coat. So I will have that on both, because at one point here, I wasn't too sure. So, if I can get this tape off of here. There we go. Just get it started. Hopefully this is the one I sprayed. Of course, I can't tell. Of course. Like that. And we'll check out this side as well. Just not having any luck today on camera. Now this did take place over several days here. I found that I had to let the primers and everything dry a lot better. Especially that white, which was giving me problems. So I had to wait a whole day before I could come in here and spray the Tamiya. All right. There we go, I think. Nope. That's better. Just looking, can I tell which one I sprayed? Yeah, it was this one, so I could have just stopped there. But isn't that Murphy's Law? All right. Slowly but surely, I'm getting it all off here. And what you're seeing now should have been edited from the final cut. All right, there we go. Good enough for my testing purposes now. Okay, so we'll take this and we will figure out which one's my warp lights, or warp chiller grill lights. we will end up connecting that to our power supply at 5 volts. Definitely not 9 volts. There we go, set for 5 volts. Untangle the wires. There we go. All right, let's see how this looks. All right, so there we have it. That looks a lot better. I'm not seeing the shadowing effect I was seeing before. I mean, you do if you look at it like at a downward angle. But I think straight across, looking much better. I know, unfortunately for you guys, it's blowing it out. But for me, it looks good here. So I'm going to go with that for now. And then I've got my lights burned in for my white strobes at the back here, which is good. So we'll continue with that. And then I think for the top of the saucer here, which I've also got now properly primed in. So here I have my top saucer part here that I've light blocked. I'm going to have to clean off the thruster area, the RCS thruster areas here with some isopropyl alcohol or some lacquer thinner. I have, you can see the Raytheon effect is working still through my lights here on my chiller grills coming through, and it's not coming through in the other areas, so we know that's going to work, which is great news. At some point here, I'm going to need to burn in some lights here for the reds and the greens, and some more whites up here. So I'll have to test to see what size I can put in there. If it's going to be 0402, or if I can get away with a slightly larger. I think it's 08 something something. My apologies. I do also have in the 0402s, I do have the greens came in, so that's good, and as well as I have some reds, so I could go with those. And I did get what Jordan suggested, a UV LED to go in back here for this grill section right here, so we can do that as well. So I'm going to start burning in some lights here, and then hopefully we can get them put into place. Also going to need some lights back in these corners here. These holes are not for lights. These holes are for where the roll bar is going to be attached. So that is not an issue. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of short episode. I apologize for that. Oh, I did finish burning in my my white cob LEDs for the Raytheon effects back here. And is that Raytheon effect working very well? I mean, yeah, it's still kind of working. You can see the light coming through, so that's good. How about back here? Yeah, you can. So that's good. Well, we know that those are working. So I'll have to get those put into place as well. I got to figure out how to attach them. I mean, obviously I can't put them across like I'm doing here with this LED. Let me turn that off so you guys aren't blinded by it. I'll give it a second to turn off. There we go. So I can't really do this, so I'm going to have to either put it along the top to light up the area, or put it on the bottom, somehow try to mount it in the middle with a doubled back side where I just fold it over. I don't know how well cob LED would react to that. Maybe have to give it a bigger loop. You know, like not a huge loop, but just a tiny, you know, just enough so you're not just destroying it. And then have it a double-sided in between with some sort of sheet styrene or something. I'll have to come up with an idea. If any of you have an idea, feel free to let me know. I'll also be talking to Jordan about it. And yeah, in the meantime, I think I will look at getting my lights back here, flashing lights back here installed. They are right here. They were burned in for a couple days, so they are definitely good. And yes, yeah, I had them burned in at 9. That's why my power supply was at 9 volts. So they'll be able to go in here, not an issue. Well, I will have to do it on the side where I'm putting all my electronics. And they will go in right there, like that. So that's what that's kind of what I've got done this week. Unfortunately, the primer issues really dug into my time. And I also wanted to make sure that this paint was really good and cured for an extra couple days before I wanted to attach these cob strips. So again, that was another couple days there. So unfortunately, this has been a time process that's really kind of eaten away at how much time I have to do stuff. But that is one of the things about model building compared to building on YouTube. YouTube, you have deadlines, that sort of thing. Whereas building on your own, you have the time, as much time as you need. Same with people who do builds for customers. So those people too are fortunately usually on deadlines. But for now, I'm going to call this video good. I just want to say thanks again to Cass at Lake Monster Detail for all his hard work here. I know he's really busy now with getting ready for Wonderfest. I did watch earlier today the stream him and Will did over on Will's channel, The Ensign's Chair. I recommend watching it. It gives you a good bit of information on Cass and his a little of the background of Lake Monster Detail, and the fact that, you know, he's a one-man operation doing this all by himself when he can. So, and with him going to Wonderfest, I'm sure he's probably, you know, got other things he's printing off and trying to get ready for the show. So I don't expect there to be anything received from Cass until after Wonderfest, and that's fine with me. I mean, it is what it is. So that being said, go check out that video on Will's channel. It came out today on Saturday. What's today? The 17th of May, 2025. Really interesting. Also, check out Will's channel, The Ensign's Chair, just for his parts and whatnot. To see how he's designing them and how he's been putting them in. At this point, he's now in the painting process, which is really interesting to watch. And don't forget to go check out Jordan's channel, Aligning the Stars, to see how he's made out this week. So thanks for watching, everyone. Sorry again for not showing much progress this week, but for me, I feel that I have gotten much progress done, especially with the light blocking now. So we'll see you guys next time. Take care and have a good week. Bye for now.